this.
Beautiful. Let's throw the post up. Unless we're already live, I'm gonna silence that now. Great time.
Got him. We're live now.
Okay. You're lagging on me a tiny bit, but not a whole bunch.
Well, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen again. I think what was happening is my phone is trying to connect to my computer and act as a camera.
Okay, the audio keeps cutting out. Your visuals are fine. Maybe it's because you're not close to the mic.
That's absolutely probably why. Can you hear me better now? Is it clear?
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better.
Yeah, that's probably why, because I'm mumbling and I'm away from the mic, so, you know.
So it doesn't help, you know.
It doesn't. I've found in my career as a recording artist, you have to be close to the mic, or you have to at least be kind of close to the mic for it to pick you up. If you're not, unless you're turned up. Here, I'll turn myself up, so. Turn me up some.
There we go. That works.
Yeah, anywho. How are you, brother? How you been?
Man, I've been good. It's kind of... I mean, I guess I never have any complaints. I had an interesting realization is too big of a word, but like understanding today. I'm on the phone with a friend that I'm often on the phone with, who hasn't been in America for many years, and we've been close for this whole time.
Right.
He's like one of my closest friends, but you know the on a day-to-day basis, as far as daily life stuff, the me he knows is from back then. You know?
Yeah, totally
So
know
it's
what you're
like,
saying.
you know, I'm just having one of those conversations. Like, we both know we are adults now. We're aware. But it's like there's a disconnect a little bit of like, he doesn't, I don't know. I feel like he thinks I don't have an understanding of some things, and I think he does. I probably feel the same way mutually.
Yeah, it just sounds like you guys are separate people who grew up, who have been growing up in separate places.
Yeah. But it's all good though.
Yeah, it's all about perspective.
It just stuck with me a little bit today because I was like, not pissed off, but I was like thinking about too much shit he was saying as if it and giving it more validation than it should have because he doesn't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really take things like that personally because they're not personal because they don't know you. It's just like haters on the internet. I mean, it's a friend, but it's a matter of different opinions, and at the end of the day, it comes down to, is it a debate or are you just like arguing to be right, you know? Like
that's the other thing. It's like, I know he's doing it out of a good place, but he plays devil's advocate too much. Like, you know, like he'll like we'll be talking, and it's because he doesn't really know what I'm on. So it's like we'll be talking, like if I have a conversation with you, my girl, with anybody here, and like it's a debate from differing opinions, both of us can come to a place where we're like, all right, cool, I understand where you're coming from, I respect this, I get this, you changed my perspective a little bit, boom, great.
You know? Definitely. I did that today.
Right. That's normal when two people respect each other. But with him, like, I'll get there with him. He'll be like, you know what? Da da da. And then give it like 2 seconds. It'll be like, but.
Oh no.
Bro, all right.
I mean, so that again, you can't take that personally because that sounds like it's something that is personal to him. That's just getting projected. It's just like
So I know that. I just have to like
internalize it.
Retell myself that, remind myself of that.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely have been there. I've been there often. That's why I can say that with confidence. Oh, sorry. I started watching this Deep Sea. What's it called? Hold on. It's called the James Cameron's Deep Sea Challenge 3D. So James Cameron, the director of Avatar, is an explorer, like deep sea level. He's actually gone to the deepest level in the ocean, like the deepest depths of the ocean. And this documentary is all about how he did it, and he built his own like submarine. It's crazy. I got on the yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was about to go off on a tangent, so you caught me before I take off. So go ahead.
I mean, I was gonna say some bullshit like, how do you feel about or I didn't know anything about the lost submarine thing.
That's how it started. That's literally how this submarine topic got started on my YouTube, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. So I was scrolling through YouTube. I can't even. So in the morning when I get ready for work, like when I'm like working out or stretching or whatever, I'll put on like the TV. I'll put on something interesting to listen to or watch, and I literally put on this YouTube thing that was like, what happened with the submarine? And I was like, all right, I've only been hearing it from social media and my wife, like what she's heard on other platforms. So I'm like, let's hear it from an engineer, because it was an engineer that was talking.
Okay.
And he explained it from an engineer's perspective of how many red flags there were. And as he was explaining it, I was like, whoa, no, you can't be serious. So basically what they did is they bypassed all of the regulations. They didn't get certified to go deep at all. And they were using materials that were not up to standard, that the industry does not recommend. Like, they were doing all this stuff that was unnecessarily unsafe. And
Okay.
the craziest part that stuck with me was that there was no way for the people inside to get out. They had to be let out from the outside, because the hatch was bolted down from the outside with no inside release.
So they were bolted in.
Yes.
And sent off.
Correct. So that's why they were doing a search, because I was trying to figure out, why the hell are you searching for these people? If they're down miles underneath the ocean, there's wasting money searching for the top of the surface is literally that. It's a waste of money. But I found out that they could have surfaced but still suffocated because of no oxygen. So that was why they had to find them before the oxygen ran out. Not because they were underwater, but because
they all died, right?
Oh yeah, they found wreckage and it imploded, because what ended up happening is they used materials that weren't up to code, and they were just like boop. Like when you put, so as you go that deep down, right? So there's 1 atmospheric pressure on us right now. That's just that's the weight of all of the air molecules from here to space on top of us. That's what that is.
Right.
Underwater, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And the level it takes to crush, like, what are those things called? The tankers on trains that transport liquids. The amount it takes to crush one of those is, I think, 2 or 3 atmospheres. So that should put it in perspective that it's not that hard when you put that much pressure. And yeah, they basically were. The good thing is they didn't feel anything because of the immense pressure. And it was boom. It was just a pop, and it was done. But it's unfortunate because there was a child or a young kid who was like 19, and he actually was reserved about going on it, but he did it for his father as a Father's Day gift, because his dad was like, let's go down. And he was like, Dad, no, this is unsafe. And he was like, come on.
So there was a billionaire there? I heard billionaire.
Multiple. Yeah. So they were the guy was basically the dude who owned the company who ended up launching the submarine. It's called Ocean Gate, which is a bad name to start. But they that guy wanted to be an astronaut. He had bad eyesight, or he wanted to be a pilot of some sort, so he got his pilot's license and all that stuff. And then he was like, oh, I'm Captain Kirk. He wanted to be all super explorer guy, and so he took all of his money and he made this scuba exploration submarine. And he was trying to, I don't think it was the dude's son. I think because there was other people that had paid to go on board because it was a tourist thing. So the engineer was explaining that they should have been charging 1.5 million to go down each seat, but they were only charging like $250,000, I want to say. So the reason for that is because every time you dive with a submarine, you have to knock off the amount of pressure it can take. It goes down every time you use it, basically. So it was meant to be retired after a few, or resurfaced, or whatever you want to call it, or rebuilt every 6 dives, we'll say.
Okay.
And the 1.5 million per passenger would pay for that. But they were only charging $250,000, and he was trying to be cheap. And that's what happens when you're cheap with stuff that literally has to be the most top tier materials.
Damn. Okay. Well, thank you for the explanation.
Yeah, I actually am glad that I was able to articulate that well enough, because I was in the dark up until I watched that, and it was only 20 minutes, which was nice. But yeah,
now I know.
It's cool to the experience wasn't cool, but it's cool to learn about things from a scientific perspective, and then that unfortunately is what happens when you don't respect science. So yeah. You just gotta be smart, man. What do you think? Tell me.
So many things. No. Um, I mean, there's like there's that crew of people, it's an immense group that are like, I mean, the crude term is science nerd, but like in the same way there's a math nerd and there's an English nerd, like the ones who like it'll all crumble if you don't follow the rules of their subject.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like science is the most justifiable for that.
Absolutely. It's
You know what I mean?
it's the reason that we understand physics and all that other stuff. So yeah, I don't know. You can believe what you want, but science doesn't argue. It just does what it does.
Yeah, right. Like I'd listen and heed the advice of a scientist before a mathematician. Yeah.
They're often one and the same, but yes, I hear you.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
I,
You want
I
to play these submissions early, or what do you want to? You want to give it a minute?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a minute. I only see one person. I think that's
Okay. I saw a whole bunch of IG comments. Was the only one submission came from that?
no. We have submissions, but I'm saying I'm only seeing like one or two people online right now. So I wanted to give people time to roll
Oh,
in,
okay. Right.
you know,
Right.
and then as more people roll in, we'll play them. Anyway, but yeah, I did actually. I was gonna say I wrote down a few questions that can actually go pretty far. So
Okay.
get ready. No, I'm kidding.
Uh-oh.
That's hyping it up way too much. So you ever just find yourself holding your breath? Not
This what
metaphor.
this is.
This
I'm
is
sorry.
this is one question, and then there's a music related question afterwards. But this was the first one.
Caught me off guard.
I told you get ready. Like literally holding your breath, not metaphorically. You can say no.
I'm really thinking about it though. Like,
Okay.
what? You tell me, what are the situations you do it in? If you do it,
Yeah, no, I do it. That's how I wondered if other
okay,
people do it. So I'll find myself sitting there, and
right?
I know what it is. It's essentially stress related, but
Okay.
sometimes I'm not, but I'll be sitting there concentrating. I guess
Hmm.
it's concentration related, and I'll be sitting there and just and I'll just it almost not forget to breathe per se, but I'll be holding my breath. Like I'll just stop it on like an inhale or something, and then just hold it without knowing it subconsciously, and then I'll notice consciously, and then I'll start
No,
breathing.
I don't. I think maybe during activities.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a moment of extreme mindfulness and being extremely aware, and that's where I notice that I'm just holding my breath. I don't know. That was
I'm genuinely scanning my day. Like,
it probably doesn't happen that often if it happens at all, but I think it's related to stress and tension, but also related to concentration, like I said. So if I'm focused a lot on, I do it when I'm producing a lot, actually, now that I think about
really?
it. So I'll when I'm listening intently or I'm like focused in, I'll be focused and I'll go and I'll have to breathe. I'm exaggerating the breath just so you can kind of hear it, but I'll
I mean,
notice.
I get that because you're trying to like maybe it sounds like you want as much dead space in the air as possible, so you like don't want to breathe.
Yeah, but also just so focused that my brain decides that breathing can stop for a second and we can give even more power to my brain. I don't know.
Maybe sometimes to fall asleep. Like
Interesting.
like I'm trying to like sometimes if I feel like it's too noisy,
Okay.
and this doesn't like not with another person around because they're gonna be noise in themselves, but like if I'm by myself in a room, it's dark, and I want to fall asleep, but I feel like I'm maybe too jittery, or like I just was doing something, I was just on my phone, I just finished a workout or whatever, but I just climbed into bed ready to go. I'll like intentionally breathe as quietly as possible or hold it for a minute,
Mm.
not a minute, but like a couple seconds, so I can like ease into the nothing,
Hmm.
no sound, the nothingness. Like that sound
Yeah. No,
crazy,
that makes sense.
but
No, that's absolutely. So what you're doing there is building up CO2, and the CO2 is what makes you sleepy.
okay,
Interestingly enough, I just hit this boom so hard. Yeah.
it's okay.
Cool. Yeah, that was just a little side tangent to get your brain going. But I have a better question that's a lot better related to us as Rec Center. So the other
Hey, bro,
question
we,
is,
we, we talk about literally fucking everything. Go ahead. Sorry.
I know it's for the people that are joining us. I'm gonna hold this like a
Fair.
podcast and just talk really light like this.
They're like, what the fuck? Anyway.
And we're gone. Okay. Anyway. So here's what my question is. First off,
Yeah.
this is a serious question. Do you want to be famous?
Is that the end of the question?
It's a two-part question. So first answer yes or no, and then I can ask the second part.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the second part of that question, if the answer is yes, how famous do you want to be?
How do I measure that? How
By
can I
the
answer it?
amount of, since we're musicians and artists, we'll measure that in the amount of active fans.
Active fans, like people who will come to a show.
Yes. So people who would come to a show, people who bump your music, people who would buy your merch, just real fans, the ones that are going to show up if you come to their town, that type of thing.
I mean, if I say a certain number, that's like
I'm not
because I want
saying.
that number.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I don't want you to feel like it's gonna limit yourself because obviously you want as
I,
many
I,
as
know, I know.
possible.
I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. What I'm saying is like, say for example, like I just say 100, right?
Okay.
Then that 100 people is in place X, but they aren't in place Y. So if I say like a more realistic number, be okay, 1,000,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if that's just like 1,000,000 people in the city of New York that all fuck with me, then I can't go nowhere. I'm stuck to New York.
Okay.
So I feel like my number has to be bigger, or I just have to be broader because I don't really need 1,000,000 people in New York to fuck with me. I need what 20,000 to come to a stadium.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the broadness of this number is important.
True. Well, so there's a few different metrics there that I would say can be measured in terms of fame. So it's fans, and then there's also I hesitate to say it because follower count doesn't matter. That's the thing is like
Right.
follower count used to actually matter. Now it doesn't. So I think I think fans are really the only type
What
of.
if we say reach?
I guess reach is good. Reach, but again, reach in terms of what someone hears your song on the radio type of thing, or because remember, famous. I'm thinking people. You go out to dinner, people know
Right.
who you are. That kind of thing.
Right. 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 Okay. I mean,
Like, do you want to be that famous where people want your autograph?
so that type of shit is not what I want, but I know it comes with what I want.
Okay, so you want to be famous enough for that to happen. You don't want it to happen, but that's to the level where you're recognizable in public. That's a level of fame that I would say is a like a very.
Yeah, because to do what I want to do with the fame that I want, that's
Okay.
gonna happen. Cause yeah.
Okay, so you want interesting.
Um,
Okay.
so I guess okay. Does that answer the question? I guess.
I mean, yeah, if you have more to add, you can definitely add more, but that answers the question for that particular.
Maybe not fucking everywhere. Like I'd like there to be some old couple who's like, I like the way you dress, young man. Like you know what I mean?
Not know
I
who
don't
you
need
are.
everybody to fucking know who I am. Like the queen and king don't need to know who I am, but like
Okay, that's a
people,
good answer.
my audience. I would like an audience,
So
ideally, of people who can relate to me to know who I am, so I can have say so and what I project.
for sure. Okay, got you. Then
What
that
about you?
leads. Okay, so I can give the answer to my own question is, do you want to be famous? The answer is no, and
Okay.
I will say because. Well, before I get into the reason why, I'd like to continue to follow your line of thought and ask an additional question related to this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the other day I was in an interview with another artist, and I had a kind of clip that will say like just one sentence, and I'm curious your perspective on it. The sentence was, "Fame is a distraction."
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Do you agree? And if not, why? Or if you do, why?
I think that's like saying fats are bad for you. Some parts of them are.
Oh, that's a good answer. Okay.
You
So
know,
so some parts of fame can absolutely be a distraction, but
but some parts of it can be deteriorating and distracting. Absolutely. I think the factors there depend on how strong of a person you are, and then also what aspects of fame we're talking about, because some are less distracting or deteriorating than others, some are more, some people are stronger, some people are weaker. I think there's a spectrum there. But as far as me, I want fame because for two key reasons. I haven't given it a shit ton of thought, but for two key reasons that come to the top of my head, being one, I want to be able to kind of like how do I put this? I want to leave a legacy, and fame is required for that.
you think so? You think fame is required to leave a legacy in music?
I mean, I don't want to like be famous after I die. I feel like that kind of be whack.
Well, if you're famous when you're alive, wouldn't that continue into your
Not
death?
always.
Would so you wouldn't want it to. So like Cloudy.
I mean, I'm saying I like both, but
Okay.
okay. I guess a better way to put it. Um, I want a legacy for. I want to be known for. I want to be remembered for being able to give people with the same, not necessarily musicians, but the same creative inclination as me, um, insight on how to do this, how to be one of us, and how to kind of make it work for you in the world. And I want that reach to go far. I want to be able to do that for as many people of this type as possible, of this creative inclination. So that is where the legacy would come from. And to do that, or doing that, would mean fame, because it means people have to know me and listen to me so that I can project that image. Or not that image, but project that, perpetuate, I don't know, push, like a push. So I could push that thought process. Also, a slightly less important but also very important aspect of it is it's what's the phrase? Social currency.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like that's almost no, never mind. That's not bigger than legacy. However, that's a big one. That's a huge one for me. I think that's probably the most enticing part of fame.
Can you bring the mic a tad bit closer to?
Yeah, like that. Okay. Actually, I turned it down because I thought I was redlining, but I'm not. So I'm going to turn it back to where it was.
That's perfect.
You're perfect. No, you're not perfect. But you're great. How about that? All right. So that's a great answer. I really like that. I think that both social currency and legacy are great reasons for fame. And I think that based on what you were saying with regards to the person being able to be strong enough to not fall into the deteriorating parts, or at least not let those impact them to a large degree, I absolutely agree with that. I think that that's something that a mentally tough person can go through. I also think that there's a shelf life to fame in terms of your ability to withstand it, and also, I mean, how famous do you want to be for how long? I don't think that I understand the legacy part. I think you can achieve that with 20 years personally. I think with 20 years you can leave a big enough impact to have fans that
I think it can happen way quicker than that, in my opinion.
Well, I'm saying total. Like, I don't think you need more than 20 years total. Like, you can just do 20 years wherever you want, and then that you're good. Like, I think you can almost do it like I don't want to compare it to a career, but yeah, a career. So you would, let's say you start at 20, and then by the end of 40, you can go do other things like start a family or whatever you want to do. I don't think you need to be relevant for 40 years to build a legacy.
I get you. No, I don't either. That's what I'm saying. I think the legacy that I'm referring to, as far as what I want to push, can be done in a lot quicker than 20 years. I think.
Oh, absolutely, because it's compounding, because it involves other people.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I think a good example would be, I think I might have brought him up last stream too. And again, like, he's come up again because my friend is Eastern European, so this is why this is on my mind a lot. But the Andrew Tate situation, like,
Mm,
guy has a shit ton of fans, super fans around the world. You
yeah.
know, he's been around a while. He's been semi-famous for a while. He's been on the news. He's a kickboxer, etc. But nobody fucking knew really who Andrew Tate was until like halfway, or like a couple months into 2023, when he spent millions of dollars on building this machine that was going to work the algorithm in his favor, and did a fucking great job to push the message that he wanted to push.
Right.
In less than a year, he's built a legacy that has influenced. I've personally seen multiple people in my life, that not necessarily that I interact with, but usually like younger people, like somebody's younger sibling,
Right.
Like, he's influenced them in a way that will last for a while, good or bad.
That's crazy.
In a way that will stick.
Mm.
Right? I'm not saying I want to push what he's pushing, but I'm saying it's possible, and he's the proof.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good example. Well, not a really good. I'm saying that's an example that's relevant to you, that is illustrating the point of you can make a big impact in a short amount of time that is lasting.
Yeah. It does suck, because it breeded my ex's little 13-year-old brother running around calling his mother and his sisters a bitch all the time. But that's the Tate effect. That's not what I'm doing.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, I like your reason for legacy. I think that's pretty much the same reason for me, is teaching others the tools that I have, because it for me it makes sense. I wanted that when I was younger, didn't have that, so now I need that. I feel almost obligated to provide that to people that want it. The thing is I'm not here to sell it. I'm here to, I don't want to say preach, but for lack of better words, preach that type of mindset, in terms of, hey, I can help you if you want it. If not, cool. Like, I'm not the person that's going to tell you that I know it all. In fact, I will often tell you that you're probably right, and I'm probably not sure. And because A, I don't care, but B, I'm very positive I don't know a lot of things. So if you're that confident, I'm first going to default to you, and then I'll probably go look it up later and be like, that person probably didn't know what they were talking about. But, and again, it's a social thing. I don't think it makes sense to be like, you're wrong, you're right.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the way I'm looking at that is like, I'm very aware I know less than I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I say, like, speaking to my people as far as the creative souls, is because I feel like I can, and I am in the process of, and can continue to learn and practice as much as possible about how to live a life with one of these souls as best as possible. I feel like I can learn how to do that well, and what comes with that well. I don't know how to live your life, but I know how to do me, and what went into me, and what parts of me are in others.
Okay.
And then I can speak on that knowledgeably, but I don't necessarily want to come on here and say like I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson just because I've made $1 billion. But it's gonna be coming from what I've done, and where I come from, and why I am the way I am, and what I've done to become, or to become what I will become, and what I am today. But like, it plays into kind of what I'm saying. Like, the Andrew example is works because he's like the typical but non-typical story. Like, he's not a creative. He just like was dead broke and then made millions and millions and millions of dollars. But he didn't do it in some creative way. He just was focused on money. He was a fighter. Then he bought casinos. Then you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's different. But he's preaching, because I think there are more, on average, could be wrong, but I think there are more people of that type who don't necessarily gravitate towards a creative inclination, but are more just kind of like they express themselves in other ways
Right.
that they don't need to express a thought in any other way other than speaking about it. We do, you know, and I think that's why that message hits so hard. And I don't expect anything I ever do to hit that hard because I'm not talking to those people. Those are the people who latch on because they're usually the most lost. It's sad to say, but they don't have other shit.
Damn, that's deep though. I know exactly what you're talking about. That makes a lot of sense because there are, as a creative, I think that, I mean, yeah, for me personally, I that's why I said I think that creatives are a lot more inclined to spend less time together and to be more of a loner in some cases. So I think that that's another reason why it's a little bit more difficult to have that level of impact that quickly. But I think that because of the depth of the connection that you're creating with the people that you end up connecting with in your life, that itself will have a similar yet better compounding effect, because when you really, really, really appreciate someone or like someone as a person, you're pretty much an evangelist for them. You're going to tell everyone you meet about them.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form, especially if they provide a lot of value in your life. So being that is how I think that as a creative, you can create a legacy that's deep, but also that is impactful in a short period of time is by focusing on the one, and that one will then continue to go instead of trying to have everyone listen to your music, let's say, like, oh, that's a bad example.
No. It's a great example because that's what the point is. Like, okay,
yeah. Then
like
I'm on the same track.
I make music about me, about my circumstances, so that when it hits that one person that isn't me but can relate, he or she will perpetuate.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Not everybody is Lil Durk, but there's a lot of people from the hood who go through it.
Yeah, you'll find your tribe. You're looking for the people that can relate to you and the thing that you went through and say, me too. And that's what you do it for. That's super organic and raw. Like, I love that. I think that there's that aspect with my creation. I also think that it's more about people's intrigue, because when I make music, I often will default to a less common and we'll say common sound, and I'll push the opposite direction on purpose, kind of playing devil's advocate auditorily. So in terms of, we'll say, a snare, I'll make the snare less like the sample, and I'll make it more of a different type of percussion. And that's just one example of going in the opposite direction, but still finding people that like that style. And that's kind of where it becomes fractionalized, and you can find your own thing, I guess. But
excuse me, you are coming at it different car, same destination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Let's get into these tracks though.
Tell me before we play it. So did we get any just pure no open verse submissions, or are they all on open verse?
So let me go through. It looks like we got track feedback. So I'm going to go so we got one open verse. I listened. Okay. However, the artist chose to do the first one, not the boom bap, but the funk one that we worked on. Yeah. That we have that one submission, and then it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks, demos.
So nobody did an open verse on the boom bap one.
Not that I've found yet.
We might be surprised. Let's play it. Let's see what's going on.
Okay. I did start to listen to it just to see what I was working with, but I didn't finish it because I wanted a genuine reaction. So
absolutely. If you couldn't already tell by my questions, chat, I have no idea what we're about to hear. So,
It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Okay, yeah, it's quiet in the morning. Or quiet in the morning. Jesus, in the beginning. Yo, fuck.
that's wild. I ain't gonna lie. That was something.
Oh, who's this guy? I know this guy.
I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't? Okay. Well, hold on. Why can't you
It's
hear?
funny. It's quiet in the beginning. I was like, oh, cool. I'm just waiting for it to start.
Dude, that's hilarious. You would have went the whole time. Wait, what did I share with you? Did I not share my? I shared my.
I see it, but I can't hear it.
Okay, hold on. Let me unshare then, and then I'll reshare. Apologies. Give me a second.
Oh, good.
Stop streaming. Go to there, and then we'll share your screen. I think I need to do this. Tell me if you can hear it now.
Varsity trapping on Letterman. Strawberry daiquiri setting in.
Cool.
We left it short like a peppermint. Yeah. I listen.
Oh, what happened?
Ran into an angel.
Oh, I think it needs to load. Come on now. Why? This would do this. Maybe I need to download it. Let's try this and download it instead. Yeah, I'm just gonna download it. That's way easier. Here we go. Played in iTunes. I don't even use iTunes anymore.
What, like Apple Music or iTunes?
No, iTunes.
Yeah, nobody does.
Yeah, they know that. All right, let me get back to here.
Now I can't hear you or it.
What?
So now I could hear you just then. I don't hear anything.
Oh, you know why? God, this is because I'm you know, shit. Sorry guys. You're the problem here, not me.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I need to share it. Now I was sharing my Google Chrome, but now I have to share. I'll get it. I promise. This is welcome to life on planet Earth. There we go. Now. Now.
Hey, I appreciate the shout out and the time. Like,
I don't know if there's a second part, but that was so. I think that's it.
yeah, that's probably it. That was hard.
Hold on, let me stop it. That was dude. So they said that they tried on the boom bap, but they felt better with the funk one, and that it was just a quick mix. So,
Yeah.
But regardless, I personally, my first thoughts, I really enjoyed the flow. I would like it to be a little bit more, obviously. Well, it could have been a little bit more on time, but other than that, in the mix. But I loved the content, and I liked the switch up. I liked there was a couple of different entendres. So yeah, I liked it a lot.
Excuse me. I was gonna say the flow is definitely hard. That was probably my favorite aspect of it. Aside from the fact he said my name like 15 times, but
It's just love, man.
I mean, shit, I appreciate it. I'll take it. I want to hear like a more full song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand it's a rough mix. There's no judgment there, but I feel like if that was mixed up, if there was a little more engineering behind that, I think that I would have hit a little harder for me. You know. But at the same time, I make music. I understand music for potential. It definitely has potential. I fuck with the flow a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for submitting that. I don't know if this is their artist name, but Chill E is
Chili.
like Chill dash E.
But that'd be a cool look. You know what I'm saying? You call him Chili, but it's E, or you call him Chill. You know?
I love it. Yeah, man. Chili, if you're watching, good stuff. I like that a lot. I would love to hear the rest of your music. So we'll have to check that out.
If you watch it right now, if you watch later, comment the link or DM the link or put the link in the chat right now, whatever you want to do.
Here, let me put the website. Oh yeah, you can put it. You're on the
You
account.
say people not allowed to comment links?
Yeah, you can't comment links on YouTube because YouTube will delete them automatically. So you can just send them to the Rec Center email, which is RecCenterDemos@gmail. If you want to go ahead and pin that in the chat, you can do that.
Or if you want to post.
No, I'm talking to you, Cloudy. You can post it in the chat right now.
Post what? Okay.
Email, yeah.
Email.
If you wanna submit anything now, like if you're watching this later, or if you're live with us right now, you can submit, and we can absolutely get to it. I think we have 6 other submissions right now, but definitely shoot one over if you have one. We have another episode where we'll do the same thing. Next up is, oh man, I'm gonna try to say this right. Levitre. I don't know. It's Levitre.
That's the best possible way you could have pronounced it.
Levitre. All right. Well, there's 3 tracks. I'm gonna bring one. This is mastered. This is mastered. Okay, they're all mastered. No, one is not mastered. So we'll do this one because it's all in caps. And now I know you can't hear it, so I have to switch it back before we even have that issue.
I don't see the shit I'm doing is the problem. Third person is no next time.
You can hear that, right? Okay. I like the organic spoon sound. I don't even know if it's a spoon, but that's what it reminds me of. What?
Said that sound was a little questionable. I don't know what that was. But yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what it is. Okay. So first 2 thoughts. 1, I like the mix of elements. 2, I would like to see more structure in terms of like a beginning, middle, or end. It kind of felt, I said this earlier actually, it felt like a run-on sentence and less of a story, but I did like the element selection. I think that if there was like a build and then a break and then a drop and all that stuff, it would have been a lot more, like you said before, impactful. But yeah, I think it has a lot of potential in terms of the idea. I would just work on like an arrangement and have more of a story to it, but still good elements, good samples, so definitely it can be a lot more.
Agreed. It was a lot.
Well, you don't listen to like techno and stuff, so that's yeah.
I don't. You're right. You're absolutely right. I try, but I do, especially during this stream, try to appreciate it more than I normally do.
But yeah, it definitely.
I've heard better, but I think what you just said summarizes what would make it better. In that, the element selection wasn't necessarily bad. I think the structure was off, and I felt like certain elements just appeared out of nowhere for no good reason. You know,
that's a good way to put it. That it felt almost like not like like there were elements that didn't need to be there. In other words, that could have. I think that the best way to find that out, and I do the same thing where I'll add a bunch of elements because I think it needs it because it's complex, right? But complexity is actually simplicity disguised as complexity. Pew 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 pew. What am I witnessing? What is happening?
Febreze.
No, I know that, but okay. Anyway, I have more questions than I need, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. Yeah. Anyway, thanks.
That's how I say Febreze, man.
No, I get it. Your timing was just impeccable. Out of nowhere, I'm talking to you, and you're like, Febreze time! Febreze time! It's Febreze time! Like, that could be a commercial now, because you just, like, hold up, I need to... Like, you're great. Thank you. Thanks for that. That was good. Thanks for the intermission. This podcast is sponsored by Febreze.
Yeah, one day.
Well, okay, Febreze, if you're watching, for sure hit us up, because I use so much Febreze in my house. I have this like sensitivity of smell because the world's smelly. I don't know if you've noticed or not. The world stinks, and I don't just mean that metaphorically. Like if you go outside in a city, especially cities stink. Most neighborhoods don't smell that great because there's usually some dumpster that's blowing in the wind. But yeah, you know. In my
There's
house,
a reason the phrase "you smell like outside" is so prominent.
Speaking of outside, we'll get back to the music in a second, but do you know what ozone smells like?
No. Wait, cow farts?
No. I mean, so that's methane. Ozone is... So, have you ever been around someone that was just outside but you weren't? And they come inside and they have that weird outside smell?
Yeah.
That's ozone.
So, okay. So, I'm trying to like classify that smell. Outside.
Yeah, it's the smell of the atmosphere on your body, but it's a distinct smell. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So it's like outside just like sits on you?
Yeah. It's literally ozone. Ozone, because there's such thing as an ozone treatment where you can have ozone pumped into a box that you sit inside of, and it's supposed to like oxygenate your blood, I think. I would have to look it up because I had it done I won't say it, but when I tested positive for COVID. I didn't have it, but I tested positive for it. So I got an ozone treatment.
How does that help with COVID?
It helps oxygenate your blood and speed up and strengthen your immune system, similar to vitamins would.
Got it. Yeah, okay. So the world stinks. People smell like ozone. Febreze. You've heard it here first.
That's all you need to know. And here's another fun fact about Febreze. Febreze was actually made for people with smelly cat houses. And it's made from corn.
From corn?
Mm-hmm. Whatever the ingredient is corn based.
Will it say that on the bottle?
I don't know. I only know that because I was curious how they made it and why. They didn't tell me how they made it because obviously they can't do that. But they did say that there was corn in it that I vaguely remember. Plus, the smell...
With a derived odor eliminator. It's in big letters.
Look at me go. My memory serves me well. But yeah, it's an interesting chemical, that's for sure, because it literally does what it says it does. It pulls this... So it doesn't actually pull the smell out of the air per se. It grabs it and sits on top of it. So what ends up happening is when it goes in your nose, the molecule is still there that smells bad, but the Febreze is like, it's not what you think it is.
That's funny.
Yeah, science is fun. Anyway, I'll get back to this music thing. You just said outside.
The two other warning signs, I smell like outside, that's why I sprayed this. But the two other warning signs on the year are the most almost disobeyed as much as drink responsibly. It says, do not shake and do not store in vehicle.
Oh man, I wonder how many of them explode on a yearly basis.
How many of these I've shaked and thrown in my car?
All the time. Well, so they used to be metal and a lot more pressurized, but now they're just plastic bottles.
Yeah, I mean,
So they can
that's a good
explode.
question. Like, what's dishonored more?
Sorry, I jumped ahead. What'd you
No,
say?
you're good. I was saying that'd be a good question. Like, what's dishonored more, that logo or the logo that says "Drink responsibly"?
I think everyone intends to drink responsibly. I don't think there are many people that go out there and go, I'm gonna be dumb or I'm gonna make bad decisions, but then it just happens and you justify it later. I think that's what ends up
Isn't
happening.
the phrase "I'm gonna get so fucked up" a bad decision?
Yeah, I think that's just a cry for help, really.
Not for sure, but at the same time, like that is not when somebody says that. That is irresponsible drinking. Do we agree?
Oh yeah, I've done that before, and it ends horribly every time because you don't know when to stop,
My point.
and by the
Because
time you want to,
we've
it's
all
too
been-
late.
I've been there. We've all been there. But I'm saying, I don't think it like what you. I think the opposite of what you just said. I don't think anybody intends to drink responsibly, unless you don't even really intend to feel the effect of the liquor.
All
That's
right.
how I
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I think that's an interesting perspective only because I would have agreed with you probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
Only because nowadays
Yeah.
I would prefer 1 to 5 or 1 to 3.
Okay.
Because I don't know why. Maybe I'm more aware, I'm more sensitive, whatever it is. 1 is a more enjoyable experience overall
Agreed.
than 3. So
I actually feel the same way, but sorry. Go ahead.
so that's why I would say I do intend to drink responsibly. The only time it gets out of hand is if I'm busy, and it always is that. If I'm having a good time and I'm busy, not paying attention, I will absolutely get smashed every time. It's without fail. If I'm with good people and good food is there, oh, forget about it. I can't stop myself because it'll be in my hand and I will do what I'm doing now and keep trying to sip a cup that's empty, and then I
Right.
will refill it and drink it. But it's not that I'm like, give me the alcohol. It's more like, yeah, so anyway, da. It's just a fun thing. So many nights have ended terribly because of that exact situation. But anyway, that's all I'll say about that.
At least you're very self-aware about it, though. I mean, you know.
You have to be, because at the end of the day, I got shit to lose, man. I can't go to jail. I can't. I'm not gonna do it. I won't do it.
I respect that. I would. You know what? Let's clap it up in the chat. Clap it up for Rooks.
We're not going to jail. We're not going to jail. Let me see those hand clap emojis. We're not going to jail.
I'm gonna throw the hearts in there just because I feel.
I won't do it. Well, that implies that it's your choice. Yes, it is your choice to go to jail. Don't do illegal things and you won't go to jail. It's that simple. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I was about to talk about getting pulled over. We're gonna leave that one untouched, and we're gonna hop into the next track. And the next track sounds like it's breakbeats, but I don't know. So let's give it a shot. Of course, it's not gonna play. There we go. It is breakbeats. I was right. This is super popular stuff in like Florida. It's called Florida breaks, but this is like psytrance style. I would love to hear this on a big ass system. Boom, 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 boom. I like that watery noise. That's a cool noise. feel like it can. I feel like it's multiple songs, but I want to see.
Right.
I want to see where it ends up.
This is how I feel people should vibe to this. Just
I didn't even see you put those on. That's so
that.
perfect. That is the vibe you have to have when you're listening to this style of music. It's for sure great. Why does it not want to play? What happened? Come on. I have to hit play and then pause. This is why I need to download it and stop trying to play it live. So we're going to do that instead. And now what I'm going to do is switch it over to you so you can hear it, mister. Wait, I think that when I do that, can other people hear? Let me check my levels. No one can hear it on what's it called, iTunes. So I have to switch that now.
Yeah.
It's okay. I know what the issue is, so I'm not gonna panic.
Yeah.
Goodness
That was
gracious,
clear.
that was good. Good. I'm gonna say what I say to everybody in my house. Good burp.
I've never heard that. Okay.
Well, because my dogs get so excited, they'll be like, and I'm like, oh, good burp. And then so we started saying it to each other now. So me and my wife say it to each other.
Wait, dogs do that?
Oh my god, we call them love burps because they are so funny. Like they are, So I'll be like rubbing him, and he'll be just like,
Yeah.
he'll make a straight face and go, "Ooh," and then sometimes I can feel it come up. It'll be like, "Brr." It's so. I spend a lot of time with these dogs, man. All day, every day, because I work from home, and they're literally right here all day, every day. When I go to my bed, they're there. When I go to the bathroom, they're there. They're just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Sometimes don't you wish you could just be a dog for a minute?
Often. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me, dude? Well, obviously you'd want to live in a good home, but I'd want to be one of my dogs. My dogs have the best life ever. They have a dog bed in every room. They have every toy imaginable. They get taken on hikes. They're not for us, for them.
Oh wow.
They get taken to daycare. They get taken to get pup cups. That's a common thing, but they get taken to get they get taken to the store to go pick stuff out. It's insane. They sleep in our bed. A lot of people are like, "What? I would never." I'm like, "You're not a dog person then. It's fine."
Wow.
No shade, but I sleep with my dogs.
Hell, that's a really fucking. I would want to be your dog too. Fuck my dog. I'd want to be one of yours.
They get priority in the bed. Actually, it sounds ridiculous, but they often get priority. So if my older dog is sitting in laying on my pillow, I have to find somewhere else to put my head because it's not there. Anyway, dogs are great. Cats don't do that. My cat just meows at me. It's not even my cat. It's my wife's cat. That's why I don't care for it. But my cat's not here anymore because he. Did you know that when cats get stressed? I didn't know this until I had it happen to me. But when cats can get so stressed that they just stop peeing and die.
What?
Yeah. So we moved, and my cat didn't handle the stress well. It just stopped going to the bathroom, and then I had a vet friend that was like, "Yeah, you gotta put that thing down because it's just gonna die." I'm like, "What?"
That's intense.
Yeah, dude. So
Wow.
you got to keep cats calm when you move. So that's why you got to give them drugs, and you got to make sure that you do all the steps. I didn't do anything because my cat was $5 and it was feral. For all I know, for all I cared. I mean, I love the thing to death.
That's funny that you bought it for $5. But you have to give cats drugs when they're stressed.
You don't have to,
But they'll die otherwise.
Well, no, you can do the nice way and introduce them to the new home before moving there. Do all this other stuff that I'm not going to take the time to do for my cat because I don't care because I pay $5 for it. It's not that I'm doing a disservice in any way. First off, I didn't even know that was a thing. Secondly, that cat got just as good a treatment as my dogs. It was part of the family, but it also just didn't do the same things as a dog. It lived under my bed. It came out at night, and it would basically beat the crap out of my other cat, and that's it. You would never see it. If you came over, you would never see it. Most people were like, "Oh, you have a cat?" We're like, "We have two." I'm like, what? Yeah, we have one that lives under our bed. He has his own gravesite in the backyard, but it's not like a traditional gravesite. What I ended up doing is one of our friends in Web3 has a seed company called Pink Fur Seed Company, and he sent me a bunch of wildflower seeds. So what I did is I put a little barrier around it. It's 2 trees coming out of the ground like this, and I dug it up and buried them there when we moved here. And then it was just a pile of dirt. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I built a circle around it so my dogs would leave it alone. And then now I put a bunch of wildflower seeds in it. So now there's 2 trees like this, and there's like wildflowers starting to grow up. So I'm super excited to see what that turns into. But we painted rocks that have the cat's face, our version of the rock of the cat's face on it. So like mine, I put like a glow in the dark eye. He's got like purple stripes and stuff. It's fun, man. It's how you
I like that. Like I would I would want to be your animals if I was a house animal. You know?
My gecko has more running water than most third world countries.
That's hilarious.
3 sets of running water at one point. I took most of them away because it was molding, but he had a waterfall, he had a spray mister, and then he had a dripper.
Sorry.
How dare you? How dare you? I was talking to you and you just yawn. Like, who raised you?
Your gecko has a mister.
Yeah, it's actually really fucking cool. It's an automated mister that I built. Like, it comes with tubes and pumps and stuff, and you have to like get the nozzles to point in a specific direction. So so these geckos, let me take a side tangent and then I'll play some more music. These geckos require a certain level of humidity or else they just like don't do well. So you have to spray the cage with a bottle every day, twice a day, to get it to the right humidity. Or you can just get an automated mister that mists twice a day, and it mists for 15 seconds. So twice a day I hear it go and just, and then doop. I don't touch it. I don't do anything.
So it's like a rainforest setting.
Yeah, it's a tropical lizard. I should have said that.
Cool.
Right? It had a waterfall. I got rid of that because it apparently... Ooh, man. I took it apart once. You want to talk about smell. The world is smelly. I've smelled death before, and death smelled great compared to whatever the hell that was. I'm about to puke just thinking about it. That was rough. Apparently, one pocket of the waterfall just had water in it, and it had a little bit of air in it, so it just kept like filling with black mold and just never... Yeah. Crazy.
I'll tell you a smell story, then we can play some music.
All right.
I must have been probably like 12, 13, going to middle school. My aunt used to pick me up from middle school every day, right? She had this green car. I forget what type of car it was. Maybe like an old Saturn or something, right? I used to really like the car because it was soft and warm. You know what I mean? Like one of those old nice cars, right?
Old mobile.
Right. One day she picks me up. She just funky in that motherfucker. Just bad. Like not a regular type of funky either. Like, because she like would smoke or like eat some bullshit sometimes and be a little funky. No, like funky, right?
Okay.
So I get in. I ride home, normal day, windows closed. I get out the car and it's normal again. And I realize how bad the funk was. I said, oh no.
Uh-oh.
Right. So I let it ride. It gets to the point where she's picking me up. I'm opening the door, opening the window, sitting in the car, sticking my head out the window, closing the door like this, and saying, "Let's go," because I can't bring my head inside the car.
Dude, what?
One day, we're at home. I'm doing nothing. I decided to go look through the car. I find behind the back seats, because there was like piles of shit back there, a full carton of rotten eggs. A full one.
What?
Green. Like they had shells on them. The shells had deteriorated.
Bro.
The eggs were green and yellow.
What? Okay.
The eggs looked like this.
What? Why? Not why. I actually don't even care about why. How?
Right.
What? Does their nose not work?
Oh no, her nose works.
Was this a punishment? I'm confused. Who was she mad at?
Maybe herself. I think.
Jesus, that's deep.
I think that maybe she was convinced she had dropped some food in the car that she didn't know where or how to get out, and was just gonna live with the funk. I would tell her about it. She'd bring air fresheners. She'd bring all types of shit. She would like freshen the car up as much as possible,
That makes sense. I mean,
and the funk never left.
so
You know?
if it's your car, it's
Right.
like cat people's houses. I'm sorry to keep dogging on cats, but it started with the Febreze and it just didn't end there. The cat houses, I can tell you because I've been a cat house. I had 2 literal giant shit boxes. There were 2 bins that were filled with shit sand and all that funny stuff. But you don't smell it after a while, and you just kind of grow used to it. But it's still, the smell is still there. But just like the Febreze, it's like, oh, that's something different. Your brain just stops telling you it, because I'm gonna use science again.
Okay.
Your brain only tell your brain and nose, whatever, your olfactory system only detects changes in smell. It doesn't detect smells. It only detects the change in the smell. So a new smell or a more intense, higher intensity of the existing smell would have to occur in order for you to smell it like consciously. Like your brain isn't going to pick that out of your nose unless it's new or higher intensity, right? So that's why we don't smell. We get used to a smell. That's why it's important to kind of check yourself and have routines.
Weed is a great example. Like,
oh my God, that's the best example. I only smell it on myself the next day when I'm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I was in denial for a long time. I'm like, no way. Yep. Probably 99% of the time. Definitely.
Especially for me, I would like that. What you're saying is 100% true. I'd also smell it in like, I'd get out of my car and get in other people's car and get back in my shit and be like,
oh, that's a good one. See, I don't smoke in my car because of that reason, because your car will smell like it and you'll smell like it forever. And I also don't smoke outside because I have a house. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just not because in non-legal states, it's just a weird thing. And even in legal states, you can't smoke out in the open, legally anyway.
You can.
But I mean legally. I don't mean physically. Like you can do it, no one's going to say anything. But I mean, isn't it it's written in the law that you can do it in public?
I don't know that, but I've seen people spark up in front of police and police do nothing on you.
Right, well, that's what I mean. But I mean, on paper, it's illegal, but they're not going to do anything. But the fact that it's illegal on paper and the fact that someone can say something makes me very much against even trying. And it's not like I have never done that. I'm not smoking outside. That's not like, trust me, I've smoked plenty of blunts at a music festival. It's not about that. But I'm saying it's more about like, I'd rather it be kind of like a funny inside joke than it be something that is on my Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get you. I definitely prefer to smoke inside. One, just because of wind.
I mean, yeah. I don't know though. Have you ever been hiking and at the top of the mountain, you just spark one up?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
And
I feel like
just like,
that's the best place to smoke. Right? Bro, like every time I hike, I'm mad I'm sober. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'm mad I don't smoke anymore because I get up there, I'm like, bro.
You know what makes this so much better?
Perfect fucking place. I'm looking over the view like, I wish this was vivid right now.
Okay, it's one last thing I'll say, and then we'll jump to the music. About that vivid comment. When I was younger, I was still living at home, and my mom took me to my psychologist. And he was talking to me, and I, for some reason, thought because I was at a psychologist's office that I could say whatever I want and my mom would never know. But I was 17, so that's not how that works. That's how that works when you're 18.
Right.
Yeah, no, so he told her everything. But one of the things he was like, why do you smoke weed? And I was like, it makes things more colorful. Like, life is so much more colorful when I smoke weed. It makes everything better. And I said this at like 18. or 17
Yeah.
or 17. I just said that. So like, I still feel that way, and that to me, nothing has made me feel the same way in a good way for that long. Nothing.
Interesting.
No food, no candy, no person, no activity, nothing.
Huh.
But I'm sure people will be like, I feel that way about running. And I'm like, good for you. That's not me.
Right. I think. I mean, I'm not gonna. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time. Go ahead, play the next song.
Smoke weed, get high, kids. No, you need to smoke alcohol and drink weed.
There you go.
Okay, we already heard this part. I need to fast forward.
As you smoke beer.
Oh man, I would love to smoke a beer right now. Alright, oh, here we go. Okay.
Have you had soju before?
So what? What?
Soju?
No, I'm gonna look it up while I finish listening.
Got it. I'm also gonna have to go in like 3 minutes.
Is it sake?
I think so. It's basically, bro, it's dangerous. It's like, it tastes like fucking Febreze would as a drink. It's incredibly delicious. But it's 12% alcohol.
That's a lot. That's a lot of alcohol. All right, so I want to get to 2 more tracks, but we did listen to that one as well, and I kind of the same thing as last time. I feel like it could have been, well, no, not the same thing as last time. What we had said before we jumped over, it could have been 2 songs. I felt like there was up and down, but then there was another up and down that was completely unrelated, but somehow related. I don't know. I think that there could have been just more storytelling, but again, the elements were good. Mix down was a little bass heavy, a little muddy, but overall, I think it has a good foundation and can definitely become something great.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said. Chat knows, and you have a better knowledge of producing than me, so I would just listen to you. And
I don't know shit. I watched a YouTube. I watched a YouTube once, and that's how I know what I know. YouTube University, children. All right, here we go. This one's called Like a Drum, I think, by DJ Adekeen. Adekeen? A-D-E-E. All right, anyway. All right, in the interest of time, I'm going to skip to the build. Ooh, okay, this is nice. I like this. It's like okay. Damn it, Cloudy, you motherfucker. Why not? Why not?
I feel so evil.
Alright, let's try this one more time. Can you hear it now? Okay. Oh, hell yeah. I think this is a mashup, but I'm not sure. I don't know if this person's in the chat or not. I don't think so. This song, this is what I listen to when I work. Like, I was listening to something very similar to this earlier. This is super nice vibes. I'm going to skip towards a little bit towards the end, just in the interest of time. But great so far, for sure. Okay, so it's essentially, yeah, it's a double up of that. Awesome job, DJ Adekeen. I hope I'm saying that right. Like a Drum, Morapia. I don't know if that's a mashup or if that's an original, but regardless, I like it.
To me, that sounded like montage music, which I like.
That's a good way to use it, yeah.
I think maybe that's not the vibe you were going for, the intent you had, but I think that would be a great place to put it at some point.
I would love to see
Like
that.
me being somebody who doesn't actively listen to that type of music, that's where I could imagine listening to and enjoying it. It's like in a movie's montage or a commercial montage or just any montage.
That's what a lot of people said about when I made a synthwave track. That's kind of a similar style. Synthwave is super popular right now in Netflix and TV series and movies and stuff. So that's why we have that feeling, is because it's already there subconsciously. So that's why you thought that. Another similar comment that I made to someone earlier was that their music reminded me of 90s video game music, and it wasn't in terms of like the quality, but it was in terms of the sound choice and the vibe that it brought. Like I would actually enjoy listening to this while I played games from the 90s that are a lot more 8-bit. But yeah, super
I feel like, what's it called? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have just said that if I like had no idea what that would be. You know what I mean? Like it definitely came from, like you just said, having a point of reference. The quality or the production quality was incredible though.
It really was smooth. Yeah, that's why I was curious if it was all original or if there was elements to it, because I know that when you put an X, sometimes that can be a mashup or it can be two artists collab. So I don't know. I'd be curious. So yeah, if you are watching this or watch this later, please let me know. But we got one or two more tracks, and then we'll call it. Where's this one's called Talk? Is it gonna play or no?
I don't hear it.
I don't hear it either. It's not playing. That's why. Hold on. It's an MP3. It should work. What the hell? Oh, there we go.
Talk your let them know. Talk your let them know. Talk that let them know. Talk your let them know. Talk your let them know. Talk your let them know. Talk that let them know. Let them know. Talk your let them know. Different since the age of 4. Watering seeds, I'm about to grow. Snakes in the grass, bout to mow. Catch these hands, my name is Joe. See police, then we get low. Damn nigga, that's how it goes. My shit on time, that's cordially. Yo, shit is trash, don't take it personally. Y'all mumbling raps, acting carelessly. Can't y'all niggas talk normally? This rap right here is my therapy. I calculate words so carefully, hitting your soul so accurately. Destined for greatness is coming naturally. I ain't that nice, that's blasphemy. Talk that shit till we finally meet. Talk your let them know. Talk your let them know.
I'm gonna skip to the second verse.
Talk that let them know. Talk your
If it lets me.
let them know.
Catching licks, flexing in the rental cars, saying they're their whips. Caught you in an Uber the other day, or was it Lyft? Proud of myself, cause I've been real off the rip. Never had to lie to try to reap the benefits. Never had to lie to try to make it pop quick. Stayed the long way, cause it can go just as quick. Lakeview boys neighborhood like we was nip. Point guard like CP3 with the assist. Born for this life so we can kick that real The past made that future present, that's God's gift.
Oh,
Talk your let them know. Talk your let them know.
very cool, man. I love that.
That was hard. I ain't gonna lie.
That was great. So oh man, I don't know the artist's name. Let me,
Did it say on an email or anything?
it's just a normal name, but I don't know if that's I'm trying to, Manny B, I think that's what they sent, but I don't know if that's their name. Yeah, that makes sense, because, okay, Manny B, that's what it is. Manny, and then the letter B. Manny B, you can find him on Spotify. That's what they sent. They also sent, that was a mastered track, so I don't know if that was a release track or not. But regardless, that was two different rappers. One was named Debo, and then the first one I think is the original artist, which is Manny B. But sick.
It's funny that he named Debo is a funny name.
I love that name. Debo!
That was fire though. Is that the first like rap song we've heard as a submission?
Today, yeah.
Was there wasn't one even before, like, as opposed to the
No,
The
I don't
open
mean, I don't mean the open verse. I'm trying to think. I think we had one other person where, yeah, we did. We played, you know what? No, it wasn't. Sorry, I'm getting it confused. It was actually, I did a live stream on my Instagram and someone sent me over a track that was fire. I was like, yo, who is this? And he was like, that's me. I'm like, what? I thought I was listening to the beat. You're the rapper too? He's like, yeah, but I'll have to pull that up and play it another time. But yeah, Manny B, that was fire. I'd love to know if that was your beat or not.
No, that was definitely tough.
All right.
I like the Uber bar.
Yeah, dude, that was fire. That was Devo. Pick you up in an Uber, or was it Lyft? I love Uber references. They go so hard.
I have time for another track if you want to play.
Cool. I also like when you reference the hotel lobby. That's always a good reference. If you're like, yeah, I was in the hotel lobby, or I sent her ass to the hotel lobby to wait for me for 3 hours because I'm an asshole rapper. No, we're not playing it from here because I can't deal with you not hearing me. Can you download for me? Yes, there it goes. Ooh, this reminds me of Linkin Park. I just got chills. That's actually pretty good. Okay, it's got a breakdown. It's good. I think it's the same build from the beginning. It's just basically the same thing. Cool. First thoughts is I really like the beginning, the intro build section. Like I said, I got chills just because that was a really good build. That's kind of like what you're looking for. The drop, the only thing I would change is I would like that new sound to be a lot more prominent. It kind of felt like it had room, but it didn't fill it, I guess, would kind of be the way I would put that in my head.
That's a good description. Yeah, it felt like the parts where I was supposed to feel more depth, I didn't.
Yeah, like there's supposed to be more. Yeah, depth's a good way. More depth to the track. It was almost like there was space to be filled. It could have definitely gone a little bit deeper. But the way I would accomplish that is by definitely making that. I don't even know if it was a piano or synth or keys or whatever, but I would make that more prominent, and then I would pull out some of the mid to low range to give it space to be bigger, because you can actually achieve more perceived loudness by taking away low end, because it gives all of the rest of the elements more room to expand and breathe, as they say, in the space. Without getting too technical, you can just cut the frequencies in the mid to low and kind of listen till it sounds good. But yeah, lots of potential there. It gives me 2014 dubstep vibes, not because just the sound selection, but just the way that it was arranged. That's what I was jamming to back at Ultra when I was 18. so yeah, it definitely brought.
It does give me like, even though I didn't listen to this, it gives me 2014, 15, 16 energy.
Yeah, I think it was just a less aggressive, more jubilant time in our lives. The economy was great back then. We got one more. Do you got time for one more or no? You can say no. It's okay.
No, I feel like it's fucked up. Just play it. Fuck it. We got one more track. Play it.
Okay. I mean, you can leave. I'll play it by myself.
No, but go ahead.
Oh, it's the hold on, let me turn this down. I can't hear shit. And you can't hear it either because it's on a different thing. Okay, so this is actually a mega mashup. So I'll play like a little bit of it. But you can't hear it, so that doesn't sustain. I'm literally playing it right now. I'm about to finish playing it. I just have to switch it so we can hear it. But yeah, sustain. Okay. We're gonna play it. I had to switch it because I have it on iTunes and not Google. But now it's back on Google, so you can hear it. I just needed to turn it down too because it was loud as fuck. There.
Let me welcome y'all to planet Earth and greet you with some savage words. Beat you with the baddest time to open up a can of worms. I mix my Bloody Mary with tomato juice and afterbirth. Jump in my arena and you'll be the one that's splattered first. And together we better than ever. I'm ready to set it. The back of me ripping your neck in the matter of seconds. You gotta be headed.
You can't hear it? Oh, that's why I switched it on the wrong end. The next time I have to pick one lane. There's 2 different lanes here, and I have to keep switching lanes, and that's what keeps happening. But thankfully, I know what's going on. It's just a back and forth. But yeah, I got you here. All right. Oh, nice. This is a submission for a remix contest. That's what's up.
Okay.
You can't hear it? I don't understand why.
I didn't want to fuck your vibe up. I saw you listening, but I was like, trying to sneak my words in there.
I mean, they could hear it. I could hear it, so that's good enough.
Okay.
You don't get to hear it.
That's fine.
But no, I'll play it later for you, or I'll send it to you. Anyway, no, you have access to. What am I saying? You'll listen to it later. Good job.
It was for a remix contest, as in.
So with producers, they will often do remix contests where they'll send the stems of the track, and then they want you to kind of rearrange them, put them in your own way, and then add your own stuff. So that's what this person did. They took elements of that track and then remixed it with other elements of other tracks. So kind of like a mixture of a mashup with a remix. It gets all sorts of convoluted in terms of like, what is it really called? But it doesn't really matter. So I'm shook though that you couldn't hear this. You really couldn't hear this? You can't hear it right now? Yeah. Yeah. There, you heard that, right?
Lord have mercy. Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, that's some dubstep for you. That was good. Good job, Sustain. Yeah, I'm excited to hear how you do in the contest, but definitely haven't heard that track before, so good job. Thanks for submitting.
That was honestly, I like that. That knocked me out my seat because I didn't hear it, then I clicked something and I heard it, and I was not expecting that at all. I was not ready for that.
It's intense. Dubstep will punch you in the face, but thanks for the submission, Sustain. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I appreciate you staying around, but I won't keep you any longer.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Have
you
a
for
good
always
night.
coming around.
Yeah, y'all.
Thank you.